Hey guys, what is up? It is me, Pagey, here once again with another video on The Flash Season 5. So in the comics of the DC Universe, Barry Allen and Iris West have two children, twins, commonly known as the Tornado Twins, and they are called Dawn and Don. This has been the standard and there hasn't really been a change up with this like we see with some other family trees in the comics, whether that's DC or Marvel or anything like that. But as we saw right at the end of The Flash Season 4, in that last scene, the mystery girl revealed herself to be, well, Nora Allen, the daughter of Barry and Iris. Now, the name came as sort of a surprise, as the majority pick as to who she would be was that, well, she was Dawn Allen. But even the Nora option had been an option for most after Barry rambling Nora shouldn't be here after he had escaped the Speed Force in episode 1. Executive producer and showrunner of The Flash, Todd Helbing, said in an interview that they changed the character's name from Dawn to Nora for the show as they felt in modern day, Barry would pay homage to his mother. It is important to remember that the death of Nora Allen, and Nora as in, Barry's mother, wasn't a thing until the late 2000s when Geoff Johns felt that Barry needed something impactful in his life and backstory. So that's when Reverse Flash killing Nora was made canon. Before that, Barry really hadn't, dealt with too much drama in his life outside of being the Flash. But one theory that started on the day of the finale, I think it was, maybe 24 hours after, and has slowly gained some steam up to now, moving from Reddit to Twitter, other social media in general, and then finally to YouTube, is that Nora, the mystery girl that revealed herself at the end of the season as the daughter of Barry and Iris, actually isn't the only time traveler that we could be dealing with. The theory that we will be breaking down in testing its strength and plausibility is that Nora has a twin sister, that being Dawn Allen, and there is some shady stuff going on with that. But of course, because we're going over a theory, I do want to hear you guys' opinions in the comment section down below. Do you agree with me, on my side of things, or do you agree on the other side of things? Or are you sort of in the middle and just have differing opinions that sort of support either side? Just let me know in the comment section down below all of your opinions. As per usual, I'm looking forward to hearing them. And of course, if you're going to enjoy the video, it would be awesome if you could drop a like on this one to show your support and subscribe to the channel if you're new. So the theory at hand is that the girl that we saw show up at the wedding between Barry and Iris in the Crisis on Earth X crossover, the girl that interacted with Ralph and Cisco at Jitters, the girl that spilled her drink on Caitlin and Harry at Jitters, and the girl that delivered the present to Cecile at her baby shower is in fact Dawn, and the girl that showed up at the end of the season is Nora. Now, in regards to the differences between the two girls, that being Nora that showed up in the finale, and the girl at the other various points throughout the season, there are two main ones. The first being her hair length. One of the things I'm sure most of you noticed when Nora walked in during the finale was her hair length. It was like, what the hell? This is much shorter than what we had seen with her before. In the other appearances, she had longer hair. More specifically, it was in a ponytail. And to be even more specific than that, I think it was a Dutch braid. Females of the channel, please let me know on that one. Was it a Dutch braid? Just let me know. And the show made it fairly clear that that was the case, as it was usually draped over her shoulder, so it was on her front so we could see, okay, she has longer hair, it's in a ponytail. The other difference that I know many people picked up on was the way that Nora acted when she, walked into the West household. Of course, she did just barge in and start talking, which you would expect from her based off the other appearances from her throughout the season, but when she started talking to mainly Barry, she was much calmer, much cooler, more collected than what we had seen from in those other 4 episodes. Usually she's just rambling and just, non-stop talking. So is that girl that showed up at those other points in the season actually the twin of Nora, with her name being Dawn or something like that? It doesn't have to specifically be Dawn, but it's just a twin of Nora. Well, it's possible, but if you have watched my channel for a while, you would know I always say that anything is possible, that any theory has a possibility of happening. Even if it's 0.0012% of a chance, it's still possible. The points brought up make sense when you list them like that. However, there are some visual things that I've noticed. Not sure if others have noticed them as well, especially the people that are going on this theory, I guess, haven't noticed them. But for me, they just stand out and scream, yo, this is the same person. The first of these is the most little of things in regards to a visual thing, but I know people will have a go at me or abuse me if I don't point it out, so I have to mention it. And that is the choker or band, whatever you want to call it, that Nora has around her neck. It is the same style that the girl has on when meeting Ralph and Cisco at Jitters. Now, it is smaller. It looks like the one at Jitters when she's meeting Ralph and Cisco is wrapped around twice, while when it's Nora at the end of the finale, it's only wrapped around once. I don't know what's going on there. Maybe it's just perfectly aligned in the finale, so it just looks like it's one strand. I don't know. But it is also important to remember that that was also the same time that we saw her when she was writing those Speed Force symbols into that notebook or journal thing book. And on the topic of the notebook that she was writing the Speed Force symbols in, this is one of the more bigger points that I'm going to bring up, and that is that we actually saw Nora holding that notebook in the finale. Now, this was for the eagle-eyed people out there, and it wasn't something the show went out of their way to, to show us clearly and make sure everyone understood that that's what she was holding and that she was in possession of it. So this is the show putting a subtle hint in there and a subtle clue, but it's something that the show will, most likely go over next season. But as we do know, there was a scene deleted that was meant to follow this scene of Nora introducing herself. So she could have made a reference to something in that notebook in that scene. We know it was meant to be about the villain for next season. We don't know if it was Nora bringing it up or someone else, like maybe some cops or something. So until they release that scene online or show it at Comic-Con like they said they would, we'll just have to wait and see what happens there. So at the current time, we just have to go off what we saw in that scene. But yeah, based off that, you would have to say that Nora, the one in the finale, is at least the same one that was in Jitters with Cisco and Ralph. And in regards to Nora's look, the shorter hair and even the different way in which she talks, not as much rambling. I have said this 2 or 3 times in some other videos, but I think this simply comes down to her being older. She has gone back to the future after being back here in those, 4 other moments and realized that, oh shit, I've done goofed up. And now she has come back to try and fix up her mistakes, but she was, so good at screwing up the timeline, she just needs some help getting it back up and running and moving it again properly. Now, the cast and crew on the show have said that Nora is roughly around the same age as Barry and Iris, who are 29 going on 30. So that Nora at the end would be around, between the ages of like 26, 27 to 30. But the girl that had interacted previously in the season, just based off her mannerisms, you can tell she is like early 20s, maybe mid 20s at the most, so she is definitely younger. So even if that was a twin, that would still have to be a younger twin, because I can't imagine like a 30-year-old, just acting the way that she was. I don't know if that's me being a bit offensive to someone that would act that way. I just can't imagine the show portraying that. This is obviously a portrayal of a younger woman. So to summarize all of this up, the more likely option based on what we've seen on the show is that Nora is all of the girls that we have seen up to this point. The biggest difference is that the one in the finale is older and has come back to fix her past mistakes because she's experienced what the ramifications that she did to the timeline and how it's affected her future. And the others were just the younger ones that screwed up the timeline for some reason, which I'm sure we will find out soon enough. But finally, is Dawn showing up still an option? Or like a twin of Nora showing up, is it still an option? And I say yes, it's still an option. It's still a possibility, whether it's 0.0001% of a chance, it's still a possibility. But if she does show up, the only way in which I can see it working, or the way that the show would do it, because I think it's the only way you can make it relevant, is if this twin was the villain. But even then, if she was the villain, do you want to make another evil, like Allen family member? We've already had Savitar. Do we need another, person in the Allen family tree, especially like a descendant of Barry, being evil? Do we really need that? Is that the villain that we need for next season? I know it would be a speedster villain, most likely, so I'm sure people will be happy about that. But do we need that type of villain? Personally, I don't think we do. I don't see, what the appeal for that is. Unless the storyline is all about trying to fix the timeline so it gets to a point in which, this twin wouldn't be evil and it would just be a normal twin. So Nora and this twin would have a normal life. But isn't that basically sort of like what they were trying to do with Savitar? Trying to stop it getting to the point where Savitar was created last season? So it just seems like a retread of the storyline, but instead of it being a person that we know, like a time remnant of Barry, it's just a descendant of Barry. It seems like it's a very similar storyline if that's what they're going to go with. So personally, I think just having Nora allows it to be a much cleaner story, which is what I think the show needs to be next season. Because when you deal with time travel, we know the show has struggled with that. So do you really want to get yourself into another situation where you're dealing with time travel? It can get really confusing. I don't think they want to do that. So I think if you involve Nora, it's time travel. Try and keep it clean and make it the story that they're just trying to deal with stuff in the present day as to, prevent what's happened to her in the future. I think that's a storyline they should go with. So keeping it just Nora, I think is the way to go. I know people are going to be like, oh, Paigey, but they have to be comic accurate and make it like the Tornado Twins. I'm like, well, as soon as you make it Nora and Dawn, it just basically goes off it being comic accurate, because it's not the Tornado Twins. It's not Dawn and Dawn. It's Nora and, well, I guess Dawn. It's not comic accurate as soon as you get to that point. So I don't think you could really bring up that argument. But that's it, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, it'd be awesome if you could drop a like and it shows support. Leave all your opinions in the comments section down below. Do you agree with me in regards to my breakdown of this theory, whether it's plausible or not, or do you completely disagree with me? Do you think this is the theory that's 100% happening? Do you think I'm an idiot? Or do you think I'm a goddamn buffoon? Let me know in the comments section down below. I can't wait to hear all that abuse. And of course, if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. I'll catch you later, guys. Goodbye.